So means I'm gonna move my frame holder up because I forgot to do that before I moved. And we are going to sit everything down just like it needs to be. I don't like standing in the front of the hive and getting in their way, but I guess they'll forgive me once. Okay, so there we go, we got that. So here is frame 4. And I had 2 frames of this, the foundation. The other that I had down here was white foundation, but I really coated this real heavy with wax on both sides. So hopefully they'll take to that. So I'm gonna give myself space to get that in. And one thing I noticed, I try to get rid of the burr comb if I can. So I've gotten rid of my burr comb. And now there goes in that frame into place. And I've kept my numbers the same. So when I go back, I can still have an accurate record of what frame's what. So I'm gonna always try to keep them the same. And I'm gonna try to keep all my spacing the same as well. I figure if I start out working these hives that way, then it just makes it easier in the long run. I have found out that trying to stay consistent with things makes life a lot easier. And if I'm consistent with it and then they get used to me being that way, maybe it won't bother them when I have to change. So there's that. The bees they're at my feeder. I'm gonna pick the camera up and let you look at that, what I've done there. So as you can see, you know, they can get in up here, come up through this little slot that I've made, and they can feed. And I don't fill this thing all the way up because I want them to eat as much as they can before I have to put it back in there, but I don't want it to get empty because I need a little bit. There's a little kind of a crack near the bottom that when it gets empty, they tend to find that little hole. And I'm trying to keep them in the hive and not in my box so they don't get in. The next thing you know, I'm gonna have them everywhere. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this on, and I'm pretty much gonna be wrapped up. So this ought to give them plenty of room to expand and do whatever they need to do, and hopefully everybody will be happy. And I've noticed no smushed bees here, so that's a good thing. I just got to get the ones that's trying to hide out of there so I don't get them hemmed in here. And after I finish up this batch of my sugar water, I think they should be okay to continue doing what they're doing. They got plenty of stores and everything. We got lots of blooms out, so everything's blooming. I got tons of clover. My garden is just blooming away, so they got plenty of things to go get pollen and everything. So I think that I'm just going to get rid of the feeder, and I have made a Vivaldi board to put on there, and I'll just use that. So that'll help me use that so I can put keep the moisture out in the winter time to insulate it. I can put food in there under a little frame that I've got made. That's a screen, and they get plenty of ventilation. So and from what I understand, especially when it starts getting colder, the ventilation part is the key. And even in the summer, ventilating the hive so they're not so hot. Maybe they'll work a little more efficient when they're not having to cool the hive off as much. So thanks for watching, and until the next time, thank you.